Is this turned on? Welcome everybody to Rick Fry in Real Time. Talking about incantations, and I think the sinner's prayer is the most misused incantation that we've ever developed.
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion.
Yeah, we have a lot of that. There's a surprising amount of it, actually. Where we think of. I used to. Here's a great example. So I used to think that when I prayed, I didn't get an answer because I didn't word it right. And so I'd go back and re-pray, and I'd say, and I'd try to get it all narrowed right down, so he knew exactly what I meant, because so I mean, it's just that kind of stuff. And a lot of times I think we are tempted to view God like a genie in a bottle, that like if we do the right thing, we rub the bottle just right, then out he pops and does this great stuff, or whatever it is. So yeah, incantations, superstition and incantations have no place in our relationship with God.
That's exactly right. Gosh, Larry, I want to keep you on as long as I can, but I've run out of questions.
Yeah. So let me say a couple of things that are on my mind about our topic we started with. So this why I Trust the Bible by Bill Mounce. This book, you've said it has some technical stuff in it, and it does. But if you've ever read anything that's academic, more like, interpreting the New Testament text here by Bach and those guys, these things are heavier by an order of magnitude than the Mounce book. So the Mounce book is a great place to start. There's another book that Chad Mainsbridge from Australia or New Zealand wrote, and I think he's New Zealand. And Chad Mainsbridge, he wrote a book called You Can Handle the Truth. And I love the title because it evokes "You Can't Handle the Truth" from the old movie, right? But You Can Handle the Truth. And it's a good book because it presents a sort of hermeneutic method. In other words, a method of study that helps you ensure that your study is giving you an accurate result. So how to study the Bible, right, for laymen. And this is written by a guy who's a pastor. He's seminary trained, but he's a pastor. And it's again, a very approachable book that deals with sometimes with a topic that's sometimes opaque to people. So for those who really want to get more into deep study, this Mounce book and this thing by Chad Mainsbridge, which I should have brought here to show you, but would be great choices. Don't feel like ever that you have to get involved in these, these more academic tomes. That kind of study is best left to people who desire it, because it takes work. And I mean, I have a bunch of them. Some of them I've spent a lot of time in. Some of them are just too much for me and too dry, and they're written for different purposes than I'm looking to employ. And even with this book I held up earlier, Interpreting the New Testament Text, there are things in this on sentence diagramming in Greek that I just don't even care about. I'm not going to do that. That's not what I'm about. If I was a Bible translator, that would be key. But for me, I'm not going to go there. I'm looking to understand what I find in the Greek the best that I can. I'm not a Greek scholar. I don't speak Greek or read Greek fluently. I make my way, and I use the various tools that are available, which is another point, right? Anybody who really wants to dig into study, there are a ton of tools out there these days, many of which you don't even have to pay for. Blue Letter Bible, Bible Hub, they have great tools with all kinds of terrific lexicons and commentaries that you can use to kind of help guide your thinking. A word on commentaries: use them sparingly.
Yes.
You know what you're getting into, because commentaries always have a perspective of the author, and that's okay. that's okay, but you need to know that going in so that you don't start going, oh, the commentary said it, so that's as good as the scriptures. No.
No.
Lexicons are super important. They help you understand how the word is being used in particular contexts, and they're available everywhere. And then there's, of
Yeah.
course, there's software that you can pay for that gets even more involved than that, but
Well,
lots of options.
the books on academic studies are just a cure for insomnia for me because
Yeah.
I just fall right to sleep when I
Yeah,
start.
they are that.
When it gets so dry and so deep, I go, I can't
Yeah.
do this. But that was the beauty of Bill Mounce's book is that it's totally approachable, and there
Right.
is some stuff
And
in
it's
there,
only
but
this thick.
yeah,
It's
272
only this
pages.
thick. Yeah, and so very readable. And so I have another book back at the house that has that is a book completely about why we should trust the New Testament text. The same subject, really, that Mounce says, only Mounce is studying both testaments in this little book.
Yes.
This book on the New Testament text is 3 times as thick as that. So,
That's
you
discouraging.
know, it's like War and Peace. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
not for everybody.
Well, and the last few chapters are on the Old Testament. And he says, I cannot get all of the things that I need to talk about in these
Right,
chapters, last few chapters. And so he just
right.
gave his perspective on it, which is very good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that. When we have people like this who have been lifelong professors who
Yep.
really do know the ancient language, who
Yep.
have translated scripture professionally and really spent time on it, when they will reach out and write something like this that most people can grasp with a little work, I think that's a great ministry that we need to see more of.
It is. It is. And I would like, I don't know how available it is, but I sure would like to do an interview with him. I may
Yeah, I
try
don't
to.
know either. He's retired now.
Is he? Yeah.
Although he still does a lot of online teaching and he is involved in some stuff like that. But I think he's retired from university teaching.
Yeah. Well, this
Yeah, I don't know
this
how
software
approachable he is either.
the software that we're using right now allows me to get in contact with people in West
Yeah,
Virginia. Yeah,
yeah,
so I love the fact that I can talk to you face to face, and my listeners can hear your wisdom and what you know about Scripture. So that's just awesome to me. Um, so what are you working on now?
yeah. So a couple things. Well, I've had a Revelation study going on for a long, long time, and
Oh
it's
my
going to
gosh!
continue for quite some time. And I've been publishing it in pieces as it comes along. I've gotten to a stopping point because my office, as you can see, this pink wall behind me, this bubblegum pink wall.
Uh-huh.
My office is kind of torn apart because I had a mildew issue in here,
Oh no!
and so I'm repackaging. We had some storage in here and stuff like that, things in boxes that we've had from a couple different houses, and so I'm having to deal with that, and I'm trying to get it cleaned out and get the odor out and that kind of thing. And the odor is reduced to the point now where I can sit in here, but that's required a lot of work. We also had been renovating our house for the last year, so that took me away from the Revelation study too. I just didn't have time. So I want to get back into that. This year, I'm planning to spend a lot more time on video. So many people really just appreciate some kind of video.
Yeah.
So I really want to do more with that. And once I get this office put back together, I'll be doing that. I'm working with a local pastor here at a Baptist church, which is why a lot of the stuff I'm writing these days is in King James because
Guess
they
who's
require
here?
that. Hey,
Oh, there I am.
how
There
Hi,
you
how
are.
are
Larry.
you, Lori? Good to
I'm
see
good.
you.
I can't really hear you, but
Ah, yeah, because I'm in headphones.
yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm glad
good
you
to
guys got
see
to do
you.
this. You
Yeah, this is
too.
great. This is great.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll be doing this
Absolutely.
many more times.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we should do it. It's so easy. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll go
So
back to work.
have a great day, Lori.
Miss
Yeah.
you.
So so I'm working with this guy at this local Baptist church, and we've kind of been team teaching through a couple of books. And we did Galatians, which I really need to publish this. I've put it up in pieces on Facebook, and so I've done the whole book that way. But I've got it all as a single manuscript. I want to try to put it together into some kind of devotional, and maybe make an actual book out of that. Then we are right now teaching through Ephesians together, and so he'll teach it, and then I'll teach it, and then he'll teach it, and then I'll teach it, and we cover the same material, and it's really kind of neat how that brings out things in the text that are different, and how it reinforces concepts. So we're doing that, and beyond that, I really feel like where the Lord is leading me is to address things that are less fluffy. I don't know how else to put this, but there's a lot of chatter out there about how great the love of God is, and how grace is everything, and and it all feels like kind of bite-sized nuggets of fun truth. And that's great, and we need that because there's so many people in bondage, right? This helps bring them out of there. But I think now there's also a need for what I would call deeper, richer teaching from the perspective of the pure gospel, not messed up by a lot of legalism, but that digs down in and really explains the text in a more clear way. So I'm working to do more explanatory kind of studies in the Word, and also to address topics that people bring up, which more and more now there are questions and comments that I want to talk to, and some of those things need to be fleshed out more than you can do in a social media interaction.
Oh, yeah. You just the term was the grace marshmallow approach. That we make it all flowery and beautiful, and it is,
right.
But and I'm doing a series on the crisis of context, and I'm challenging verses that have been taken out of context and made proof texts. So that's a challenging endeavor, because, and so far I haven't made too many people mad, but people are fiercely protective of their proof context,
sacred cows,
proof verses. Yeah. So I guess we are finished.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. And gosh, it's been a great interview.
Rick, it's my absolute pleasure, my friend. And, thank you for the opportunity to kind of express out some of this stuff that, it sits back in here. And if I don't write it down somewhere, it never gets said. So this is great to have the opportunity to just articulate it verbally. It's good.
We'll certainly stay in touch, and I want to do this again.
Let's do that.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Larry. And thank you guys for listening and watching in real time. And we'll see you next week.